On Time with Doctor and Serge, Logtech podcast.
Hi folks, welcome to one more episode of On Time with the Doctor and Sergey. What we're gonna start today is, anyway, by the way, welcome Sergey. How are you, mate?
Doc,
How's it going?
Good, thank you.
Right.
How about you?
It's very good. Actually, in all honesty, I'm spending a lot of time in reading, researching about AI, and it's getting kind of addictive for me. What's happening with you? Because I think I'm getting grief from my family saying you're almost like talking too much about AI.
I just hope your wife doesn't know that.
She knows it.
Spending more time on LLM than...
Yeah, that's happening. What's about you?
yeah.
Is happening with you?
Yes, kind of same.
Yeah. It's addictive as well. Dangerously
sure.
addictive, right? Folks, we're going to share our learnings here, which we have some with interaction. So I want to start with a request I have. So I'm working on a training program for supply chain and procurement people, talking about what's happening with the AI space, and people think LLM is AI. LLM is an AI, but there's different other types of artificial intelligence systems. Machine learning is part of artificial intelligence systems. We can use, and we can mention that, and so on and so forth. Anyway, don't want to digress. But what I'm requesting, so we're making this training for procurement and supply chain people, see how AI can improve various different processes. So, but there's a misconception here. So we have got a request from a client saying, I've got this whole job spec, let's call it a procurement person. I want to do my vendor analysis of my market research. Let's call it, I want to buy plastic suppliers globally, do the whole market research. Then I want to create a statement of work for my RFP, which is request for proposal. And then I want to send it out to people or my existing suppliers. I want to receive their proposals back, and then I want to do analysis through AI, and then they're going to tell me which one is better, and then I start moving to the next stage of contracting. Sounds very simple. Should be able to do that with AI.
In theory,
right? But they think somehow because we got access or corporately approved version of ChatGPT, I should be able to do it. But guess what? They can't.
Sure, they can't.
Why?
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to explain first why they can't.
First of all, we are doing that in May 25. So things change rapidly.
Super rapidly.
And, probably in a month we will have context window 100 million.
Okay.
And then...
Okay, so this context window is used a lot. A lot of supply chain people, honestly, they don't understand. So give a dummies version of what is context window.
Like keep it in a short memory. Comparable to me is things that I keep in mind right now trying to solve some problem. And everything out of context has to be looked down in the paper, or see, I'm trying to solve some problem, something I had in mind, something I have to Google, search through my email, ask someone because I don't really remember. That makes the difference between context window that helps LLM to immediately see all that data, give an answer, and things that they're outside of context.
In an old school language comparison, it's like a RAM, short-term memory. You kind of, right?
Kind of.
So the implication of that is that if you have, for example, PhD thesis like me, which is like 65,000 words, and you upload into one of the context window, let's call it a million one, it will say, can't analyze the whole thing because it's too big for me, correct?
Again, you can upload it as a vectorized thing into a database, like create a project, upload in a project. That will not be part of the context, and then you can query that data easily. But because it's not part of the context, it will be querying bits and pieces of data from that document. It will not see the full document.
Okay. So coming back to the original problem before you started that. So I was asking.
That's the problem.
Okay,
you cannot upload this huge Excel file and ask LLM just to look at all of it and give you some insights.
Because
that's not possible right now because of the length of the context window.
Length of the context window. Okay, correct. Before this podcast, you were explaining me the LLMs. I think we made a short of that. So I think you probably want to explain again, but let me explain my understanding of LLMs. So language, they call large language models, and they are like literally small language models. They call it small language models, right? What would they call it?
No, there are no
small language
models.
But there's one more, right? There's large language.
There are language models.
Yeah.
Which are...
No, I think Satya mentioned.
There are language models. People trying to invent how sentences are structured. Nouns, which are verbs, in the sentence, and they are making models of language 100 years ago
I think
from
there is
now.
small language module. I'll Google that. I've seen it. Anyway, coming back to large language models. So they're trained on tons of data, and their job is to predict what comes next. This gives them a human-like capability to think. But this concept of training the model, right, and human-like thinking, I think you have a very good understanding of that. Explain this quickly.
So I'll try to put it in like a new way.
Yeah.
New way.
Quick though.
So the concept of a model is basically equations.
Okay.
That's the model. So what is model of solar system? It's a bunch of equations that you can put time there, do calculations, and you know where the Earth are, where the Sun, Mercury, and all that.
Right.
Yeah. So what model does? It predicts where each planet will be in a certain time, right? So now imagine you try to train computer to predict where the planets are. You're feeding it data, and it trying a whole bunch of equations, and then testing, did it work or not? Can it predict? And if it's good enough, it will print you out. This is the equations for the solar system. And that's the model. Do you understand the world and the solar system? Probably not, but you can predict where the planets are.
Okay.
Now back to the language models. You give them a task of trying to predict next word and train them on existing body of text, Shakespeare, stock reports, all that, whatever you can get your hands on. Turns out when LLM is trying a whole bunch of different equations, it suddenly understands the interconnections between meanings of those words. So you cannot tell what's the next word unless it's a Shakespeare and you know to be or not to
be.
Yeah, but you knew that. For a new kind of text, LLM always thinks, oh, I do remember that. I just have to remember to not be or to not, and it's like thinking, yeah, I maybe not be, yeah, and so. But to do that, you need to understand the meaning of all the words, relations between the words. Yeah. Otherwise, task is not possible. So it was shocking, actually, for everybody to find out that by doing just that, predicting next word, LLM could achieve kind of understanding not just the structure of the text, whereas it's a noun, it's a verb. What is that noun? What it means and how it relates to that verb and all that. So by making model bigger and bigger, our knowledge about stuff fits into that model. Modern models are like 900 billion parameters. So if you write it on a blackboard, that means an equation with all those z, t's, x, y's, 900 billion of variables into the equation.
Okay.
See?
I want to go back to this whole misconception of what AI currently can do and how it can do it. So because of this definition and limitation, as you explained, that we cannot be able to do just upload the spreadsheet, right, and say analyze for me, but it's possible, right? Okay, it's possible through the existing APIs, which is provided by those models, right? OpenAI, Gemini, DeepSeek. But before I go into APIs and what they can do, I want to touch base on this, that each of there's a lot of LLM models, as I think you mentioned earlier. They're on Hugging Face. So if you create your own LLM model, you can just take one of the pre-trained model and modify it. And probably we will talk about vibe coding or later on if you get time. But I want to keep the discussion on the supply chain and their problems. In my experiments, I use DeepSeek, I use Grok, I use Perplexity, I use Claude, I use Gemini, I use OpenAI, right? And I think if I have to do something more analytical analysis of something, I either go to Grok and DeepSeek. I get much more better comparison. So for example, if I want to do a comparison table of 10 different vendors in WMS space, I literally gonna write it. Okay, same command. Okay, think like a software analyst and give me the comparison table of 10 possible WMS provider or best in the country and tell me why they're better, with the pricing, who is the best feature, who is the best customer. I'll just write this, right?
Yeah.
This is what I want to know. Copy paste the same thing into all 6 of them, and I can bet right now Grok of XAI and DeepSeek will come better. right?
Sure.
So the point I'm making is following, that if you want something more creative, like have somebody an email or write a proposal or negotiation draft, then I think no better than OpenAI. Furthermore, I think if you want to do a deep research on something, for example, I recently done a report using Gemini Flash 2.5 Pro, which is the deep research experimental model, and find me a suppliers of blah blah commodity in China. It has taken 25 minutes and it's given me like massive 50-page report with references. Okay, these are suppliers, these are their market existence, these are the content point, this is why they are good, they are local suppliers, international suppliers, a comparative table, like everything which you would hire a researcher of that country to do it and pay like $20,000. Really, Gemini have done it. Is enough. I don't need to know more. And the reason I think Gemini could do that because linked with the internet, of course,
Yeah.
they run the biggest. They run the biggest thing. So Grok is very much stabilized or very good in the social media because they have a lot of news people talking about. The current events they're good. This is my experience of how I think each model have their own specialty, strengths. Would you agree, disagree, or if you?
Yeah, I agree. It's just that it changes every time, this top ranking system. So those recommendations will be advices. Same like, if you need something inspiring, fresh, new, go and watch this at Netflix. So in a month, it's not new, not fresh. Already, it's something else. Yeah. So with LLMs, it will be the same.
You think so? I don't think so.
I do think so. DeepSeek, it was non-existent 6 months ago. Yeah, right? So
yeah, but 8 months ago, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So
that
competition will continue. And I don't bet on any of those. Okay.
Okay. Why not?
Because they are champions all the time. New champions every week. You can go and find some new shiny model that is better in some way or another. Okay. So but what I can recommend. So why they are giving you those sheets, tables, answers, and links? Because companies see potential in monetizing this behavior. That people are like, you're interested in news, what's on the internet, what are the latest. You're not asking it what was 50 years ago in WMS, who was the best. Probably, I don't know, maybe somebody does, but you're mostly interested in something like fresh 2025, who's the best software, or who's the best supplier, 3PL and all that. So they've just adjusted their software, not just models, the software, to go query the internet, bring you back the links, citations, documents, all that, right? And what I found, and probably this will stick for a while, is because of the model was trained on all of this internet, all the data. Sometimes it's better to tell it, don't look the internet, just give me from memory. So you were asking it like how much money this company made in 2024, and it tries to look some data and brings you bullshit links, same as Google does. But if you ask it, oh no, just don't Google, just give me from memory, it will give you a very correct answer from the memory.
Okay, so
instead of links.
So you saying this model differentiation which exists right now will not stay.
No,
it will be all the same sooner or later. Okay. Let's agree to disagree on this, because I think is strategically is in favor for those companies and models to become like a champion of type of model rather than be jack of all trade, master of none. But I'm no expert in AI, so let them deal with that problem. I want to move to the question I was having. So I give you this example of I don't want to do this complex maths problem right now. I just want to do a simple automating the process of your RFP. Now I want to write a statement of work. I want to send it out to my vendors, get their quotations back, compare, which is better, so on and so forth. Okay, sounds simple, right? It should be done by AI simply, but it cannot be done by AI simply. In my experience, the reason it cannot be done by AI is simply because there is 3 sets of actions are happening. So the first set of action is, if you say, okay, write me a statement of work for my RFP, that's straightforward prompt to your ChatGPT, LLM, or Gemini, whoever. So you can use any of them, and depends how good you are in prompting. Again, there's now a better method of prompting. You have to almost ask the LLM saying, think like a procurement person or expert of this, then do this for me, and then I'm expecting this. So you almost have to write this framework of what you need. The longer the prompt, the better the output kind of thing. As you said earlier, that you have to almost write prompt like you're writing an email to a junior and asking him or her to do something. So
Very smart one.
Very smart one, like super smart one, and with a lot of experience. So that's a very good way of explaining this. So make a short of that. Now, so you do this part, and then so now the question is, RFQ is good. Now it has to go to the supplier, right? So for example, you want to automate this. So remember, this is the action happening of going, right? And then the supplier would do what they do, and the action needs to come back, and the analysis needs to happen. Okay, there's a second action. We want to automate that part as well. Okay, then after the analysis, you want to have the inferences and write something which makes it reasonable. Not just in simple 3 steps. There's 3 things happening. So there's a creation bit of this bit of work, and the automation, and then the collaboration between the 2 parties. So to do these 3 things, which is the writing bit, which is LLM, creation, automation, which is sending and coming back, and then asking by a prompt to LLM, please do the analysis and then write me a summary. That's again an action for LLM to do. So LLM alone cannot do that. So for me, is a combination of 3 things. LLM for the, let's call it knowledge creation and writing and all that. Mm-hmm. Then for analysis, you have to have other tool, or could be AI powered or not. Then you have automation tool like N8N or make.com or a few others. And then there's a collaboration involved as well, which is sending back and forth. Then you have to connect these 3 systems to get this required output.
It's just May 2025. So that will soon change, I think. So
okay.
I think it will change.
No, but first to agree. Right now.
I do agree. That is correct.
Right now.
Yeah, I can give an example.
Please do.
For instance, you want an LLM or an agent to go and find out how much is the rent in that area.
Yeah.
So you can prepare this prompt.
Yeah.
Try to find blah, 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 blah. There are links. And now you want to actually write a letter, ask the landlord, how much, right? The problem is that people are sloppy. So you are tying that automation. You've given prompt, now you have a link, you have an email now. Yeah, all that can be printed by LLM. But now you want to write an email, and you can give a text, but you cannot send it. So you need an automation platform that can send emails, probably from your own email address box, email address. So now you're making automation. Like, oh, I need this prompt, I write a letter. Then what you do, you create a checklist how to make sure that you got your answer. And you have a loop, because landlord will tell you 9, and your LLM will have to ask 9 what? He will tell you 9 USD. 9 USD per what? And then only third letter, he will tell you it's 9 USD per square feet per month. Yeah, and now you're satisfied. Your automation sends letter to you, probably like, oh, here we find this address, email, and it's 9 USD per square feet per month. What I'm saying is that by employing this so-called chain of thought, all of the modern models, they are building in this automation. So when you now query the LLM, do something, it starts writing Python scripts that will parse data, run software, it browse websites, it can send me email, it can read them, and can do a whole bunch of stuff. And
so basically you're saying, sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
Basically you're saying now the LLMs are writing Python codes of their agentic representation to do something. Is that what happening?
Yeah, they're making software that will do something for them with the help of MCP, Model Context Protocol, and Agentic Protocol. They can now write queries to some other software, database software, ERP software, email. And this software acts on behalf of LLM, sends data back, LLM plans next steps. So all those things that you've explained, like planning, executing, reviewing your work.
Analysis included, they have to write.
It's now all done by LLM. So you just give one prompt, LLM crunches data, calling database, doing hundreds of steps, and then just prints you the result.
So while you say this is possible and happening, but if I am just a simple user of Gemini and X...
You will be able to do what? Click settings, MCP, email use, type your email
You
address.
will be, not now, right?
Not now, but a month or two, or you can already do that in Anthropic.
Anthropic.
Your password, okay, now your LLM can write emails on your behalf or read email.
Anthropic is a company which owns Claude.
Claude.
Yeah. They're very much ethical.
Kind of.
Kind of. That's their positioning.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So that's fine. But as we stand today, it's possible, but not through one system, one LLM system. You need a combination of that. But you're saying it could all be changed very quickly.
Yes. So the key problem is that LLMs, these neural networks, not LLMs, neural networks, they are killing specific pathways or steps or anything. Like before, if you want to have a translation system that translates from Arabic to English, what do? You write a piece of software that will read Arabic, that will parse it. Where are the exclamation points? What are the, like, all the vowels and all? Yeah. Decode. Then it will transfer it in some mediate language, then do table translation with the models, then spits out English, then fifth software will check for grammar, put commas and dots and all. See, so it's done step by step, but different teams of researcher. What else? Language model and neural network does. It translates directly from Arabic into English, just word by word immediately, and you really don't know how it does it. What are the steps in between? Finding that, like in 2025, you have software automation tools, make.com and 8nan, where you plan your automation. Step 1, step 2, you connecting that. And if something changes, you have to go and change and create new one.
But now it's saying it will.
Now it's making those automations within the network itself.
Okay.
And no need for all the intermediary steps. You just give prompt, good enough, you get the printout.
In theory, you're talking about really high-tech stuff where people understand. Now, the thing is, if it's that easy, doing all that is not super complicated. In my view, you can literally take any current supply chain process. Let's take, shipping documentation, right?
Well, I'm sure just in 2 years,
hear me
the corporate head will finally allow to use this thing.
So you actually pick the point I'm trying to make here, right? Is if it is all available that easy, and literally if you want to talk to me or Sergey, we're happy to show you, right? We're happy to show you. If you go to Esteem Dojo and click on content library and then click on tools, we have created a supply chain and procurement AI competency assessment tool. And I'll tell you how I built it. It's that easy. So you go in, you upload your CV, there's 20 questions you have to ask, and 20 questions are partly generated by AI, and we just have to basically segment them. And then you do your input, it will take 20 minutes. So what AI, the prompt we have written is, once the user submit the information, go and compare against the body of knowledge. So body of knowledge of procurement and the body of knowledge of supply chain, there's 12 of them, and procurement is like 16 of them. And within each, let's call it a category of competency, let's call it supply chain strategy, there's a foundation, intermediate, and advanced. So what AI does, it takes the input, go and compare against the body of knowledge, and then at the end it states, okay, I've compared the CV and all that with my knowledge, body of knowledge of Esteem Dojo, and this person is on intermediate level, and these are the courses or best practices this person should be buying or getting, and so on and so forth. Now, to make this happen, we just use two things. We use AI, which is Gemini, and we use make.com to make it happen. Okay. If it is all that easy, which is not complicated, honestly, we did it in 2 days, right? Organization, and I might 4 business leaders this month, don't want to name it. A couple of them are really big global brands. They're still stuck with Excel. They still got 20 people doing shipping documentation. Yeah, they still got like 5 buyers sending POs and doing comparison of shipments. Why they are not even adopting it quick? Why?
Good question. So even setting aside that corporate head just afraid data leakage.
They're not afraid. Actually, sorry for interrupting. Yeah. They are not afraid.
Setting that aside.
I am going to sell them Esteem Dojo Academy, and they're spending 15 minutes on talking about Academy, and they're spending hour and a half talking about how excited they are with the digitalization,
data,
AI, and all that. But they have a lot of
Okay,
drive.
so some people just can't use AI.
This can't use AI
They just can't use AI.
because they're
Yeah.
incapable or they do not understand.
I have no idea what is going on. I just see that from firsthand.
Some
that
people or most
some-
people?
Most people.
Most people.
This is why OpenAI is so
Rich.
damn good, but still not profitable. They're
Yeah.
losing money all the time because I think it's a tiny percentage of the population
Yeah.
who are really benefiting from AI and who are really using them.
Right.
Everybody else uses just for entertainment.
That's correct. So I'm gonna give two examples. I'm a subscriber for OpenAI YouTube channel. I'm a subscriber for Gemini as well.
Mm-hmm.
They recently released this capability of create your pictures by prompting animation. The famous Galibi.
Yeah, that
meme.
killed me journey.
Yeah, Galibi journey, right? That video only have 357,000 views, and I'm thinking that's not a lot of views after that many days of publication. So you're right, a lot of noise, but not everybody is understanding and adopting it. But there is a wish there. There's a wish of doing it. So what people have to do to go from a wish to actually doing it?
Oh, it's same like with gym or learning a language. Buying subscription gym is not enough.
May
Will
not
not
make
make
your
you
muscles,
muscle.
right? Yeah,
build
you have to
muscle.
go and pull weights.
Yeah,
And
you know that joke? Like, an angry customer bursts into the gym like, "Where are my muscles? Show me the manager. See, it's fat here. I paid for subscription 6 months already." He never hit the gym. He's demanding the results.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of that situation.
Right. No, it's a very good example of that joke. Okay, so we are actually trying with this podcast, trying to say that it's possible, right? But like any other thing, you have to take the first step. If you are so busy in writing your Excel spreadsheets and sending the RFPs in Excel spreadsheets, still doing your packing list, and you have Excel spreadsheet which you put your packing list and your dimensions and weight, and it does the optimization. Or trust me, you can teach the whole thing to automation model, an AI model. It will take you a couple of days, literally a couple of days, or hire someone, talk to us, and we will help you achieving that, right?
We still haven't told how. I haven't still explained to you how to use big, huge Excel sheets.
Yeah. You are a mind reader. This guy is AI. I was about to ask you this question, right? Biggest misconception is that I have got this KPI experience. I've got this. For example, I've tried it and I failed. I have my, for esteem I've got my cash flow documents, right? It has all the sales channels. It has all the costs, salaries, people advertising. It has all the software costs, all the expenses. It's like cash flow document, okay? It has history. It has forecast as an actual blah, blah. So I have to send for example, my team, my partner report on what are the major changes in last 3 months. Or like typical FP analysis, right? The sales is going up, or this channel is going up, or inventory is going down, or this cost is going up. Or cost of. I would expect ChatGPT or OpenAI to read the Excel file and find simple. It's not complicated. It's just I have a small business. It should be able to give me some analysis of what the maths is saying in terms of trend, seasonality, target, our performance versus target, and where we are good, where we are bad. It should be able to. Information is there.
Yeah.
It did it. It said, my LLM model, I cannot do it. Now, you are saying it's possible very quickly. How?
Okay, so again, May 25, right?
May 25.
May 2025.
Right.
Things could change pretty quickly. So as of now, the main problem is that it only receives text. So you gotta make your Excel sheet a text, like a notebook, like Notepad. And then the context window is limited. The largest one is 1 million or 2 tokens. It's like 600K Excel sheet, which is nothing. Yeah. So, but you can use MCP, Model Context Protocol. What you will do, you need to make your Excel sheet into a database, go to Anthropic, install that MCP, connect it to the database,
Excel?
which was Excel, but now it's a database table in the database.
How can I convert the Excel into database?
Go Google free database like Airtable or anything, and upload your Excel sheet into it, so it will populate a database with your data. Then go to Anthropic, connect it to the database, and now your LLM will be able to query that database for data. So we'll put chunks of data instead of the whole Excel. It will ask, give me, query this, query that, sums, averages from, and it will analyze. And and step by step, it will come to a conclusion and give you an answer.
Anthropic MCP.
Yeah.
Okay, but I don't have access to Anthropic and MCP because they will ask me to pay. I want to do it for free.
Sure. You will need to pay.
I would want to do it for free.
No way. You need API, and you need to develop an app, maybe as a vibe coder. Just use some tool, tell him I want this app. This app will talk to LLM, query your database, talk to LLM, query database, go back and forth. Those gimmicks you still need in May 2025. So as soon as tomorrow, things will change, and you'll be able to analyze Excel sheets.
So May 2025, May 2025. Given that, I'm going to ask this question. Things would change next week and a month after. So I'm going to shout out some job responsibilities of supply chain professionals. And you have to answer this in, yes, it can be automated. No, it cannot be. Because you are almost inhuman in analyzing this kind of things and giving feedback. Okay. So I am a planner, right? I come into my office. My job is to see my ERP system, my current inventory reports, see where my inventory is, send a report to my boss saying I've got, out of 400, 380 in stock, 20 is not, and this is when the inventory is coming. Also, I do my, analysis of what I need to order as a second task, and then I have to chase my suppliers for the PO, right? Yeah. Simple. I'm just an inventory guy. Okay. I do it every week, right? And, most days then not. Can I automate all that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
If it's good new ERP, web-based, it's 1 day. If it's SAP, $100, probably 4 months, 100,000.
Okay. Short answer is yes.
But short answer is yes. Yeah.
So I'm a buyer. My job is to find suppliers, send them RFP, get the information back, get the analysis. Then after that, identify which ones are better, then send them the contract, close the contract, place the PO. Can I automate the whole thing?
For sure.
Using AI.
And
how many days? How many days?
1 day.
1 day. Okay, beautiful. Let's sit down and do it. Now, I'm a logistics professional. I'm a logistics coordinator in a company. One of my job is to, as soon as shipment is ready from the 3PL provider, get the packing list, get the documents. I ship stuff from Middle East. That means I have to do all my GSO, SASO certification done, making sure it's there, making sure my packing list is correct, my container is optimized, making sure I'm shipping to Egypt. Then I have to go and take the bill of lading and other documents and get it digitally stamped, right? And put like a packing list, invoice, bill of lading packed together and sending it to my customers saying your shipment is ready, is leaving today. This is all the document. Can I automate all of that?
Yes, but
there
are lots of systems in the air. And because some of them are bad ones.
Yeah.
And you need SMS to log in.
Right.
And you click somewhere and it closed and with bill of entrance and all, right? That like might take...
Government customs aside and stuff.
Yeah, so bad. So that will take maybe a week or two to automate that, but still doable.
Okay. Then we move to fourth example. I'm a demand planner. My job is to review by product line, by channels. I've got a B2B commerce channel. I sell to Amazon. I have a B2C commerce channel. I have my own website. I have a retail channel because my chocolate manufacturing company have shops in airports and shopping malls. Third channel, I have my own B2B business as well, where I send it to our distributors in other countries like Pakistan and Afghanistan, and they sell it out. So I have to consolidate demand from all 5 different channels. I've got the world best software any supply chain person uses, which is
I have no idea.
Excel. Come on, that's the answer, right? You said it. The best supply chain of there's a joke we're gonna do at the end, right? So I'm a demand planner, consolidating my forecast in Excel and creating my Excel forecast, statistical forecast using time series method or just simple averages. Then I send it to my product line guys and sales guys saying, "Oh, would you agree with my Mickey Mouse forecast? And can I use it to upload my MRP system?" And then I give it to my suppliers so they can also start capacity planning. Can I automate all of that using AI? Looking at trends, feedback, the whole thing.
So if you can manage to talk your CO level to answer an agent emails, then of course it can all be automated. But if they will tell you like, I'm not answering a damn machine, He cannot write me emails.
We told that's not the constraint. It's not a constraint. You have to say from the technology point of view, possible yes or no. That's what your job is.
It is. Yes,
it is.
It is possible.
Okay,
Yeah.
tell me what will your technology look like to do that?
Same thing. It will write emails. It can call people. You will use MCP for it to do
And
math.
pick up the right model as well, like the one forecasting model.
Any model will suffice, except for scanning PDFs.
Right.
You'll need to tune some model to do that.
OCR.
Yeah, to do OCR. It's
Yeah.
not OCR. They are digital already.
Yeah, parsing,
it's not a picture.
it's parsing,
Yeah, PDFs.
Okay. All right. Okay, cool. So that's possible. Let me pick one more just for fun. Oh, yeah, my business is implementing ERP system, and one of my job is I'm a very busy guy, and they have to say, oh, you have to come down and you have to create some business scenarios, right? For basically to do scenario testing, and unless you sign it off, and unless all the scenarios are working, that means you can place the order, you can close the order, you can basically import inventory, export inventory, you can run your reports and create invoices. You got to do all that because we are implementing ERP and you have to test and verify.
What are we automating? The whole process?
Oh,
No.
No? You still need humans to do it.
No, the key problem is that it's all psychology now. So 99% of the time, the ERP provider just trying to talk management into senses. We want this and that. And he's trying to talk them into senses. Come down, like scale down. Let's do this small thing. It will work. Let's talk with it. And they are trying to move rocks and split the sea and all. And he's trying to talk them to senses. That's first problem. Second problem, from my experience, any business process, if they're like 2-3 level of management, something who does that, then someone who manages line staff, and then like C-level or operational. You go, ask the C-level guy, he explains you something. You go down to the operational level, they will tell you, oh, no, we never did that. We were planning to do that 1 year ago. We are not doing that at all now. We are doing it differently. Yeah. Then you go to the employee, line staff who actually does the job, and you hear the third story that was also half a year ago and doing completely different thing. So how LLM can do all that unless you have legs and arms? Before that, no way.
So if you're a system consultant, you're still safe. Okay. No, so that's fantastic. I want to move towards the end of it, right? So while I meet a lot of leaders recently, and there's a huge desire, digitalize, use AI, automate. I think I'm finishing where I started, right? There's a lack of desire for it, right? The idea is to what we can do to make them more realistic by saying, okay, but just by wishing it, I want to use AI, it's not going to happen, right? Right. You just need to have a proper, like anything else, like any other strategic initiative, like even deciding you want to change ERP or installing your AI, there has to be analysis.
Everybody else doing AI doesn't help you
as well.
Use AI.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So everybody else go to gym and you can see them fit, but you can't get fit because you're just seeing them fit. So to how to get AI fit, where they should start. And I always believe start small is the best thing. Yeah. So what I
But what I see on my team, there are people who immediately pick up this tool.
Yeah.
They're typically not afraid to unscrew the desktop computer.
Right.
They get under the hood of their vehicle. Those people are not afraid.
Right.
Something breaks, they just dismantle it.
Yeah.
And some people, they are just staring into the abyss, this empty chat, and keep asking me like, what do I type? And what do I answer? And all that, and it never ends, never ends.
Because they're not thinking, right?
I don't know, no. Maybe they are, but they're either. If I don't know, see, I've tried to understand. I've tried to understand. Either they're afraid, or maybe they don't know what to do, or they're not smart enough, or I don't know.
Okay,
because it's across everyone. Just few people gets it, and everybody else just don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the people who do not get it and they have a very false expectation, and I've been saying it for the last 3 years and even more for all my digitalization consulting project that you cannot digitalize or you cannot give it to AI something unless you standardize. So whatever you do, how good or bad, it across whatever teams you have, it has to be standardized. It has to be done in the same way, right? If there's 3 different scorecards or 3 different RFP process or 3 different way you do your inventory calculation, it's bad idea. So you have to standardize as much as possible, then automate, and then start using AI to optimize, right?
Yeah, right.
But the longer you're gonna take to start this business, the worse it will get, because everybody else will be so fast, so ahead of you. It's gonna get impossible to catch up, right? And I think, like any other knowledge profession, so as few of the leaders are saying, Jensen, the guy from the NVIDIA, right? I think he said it recently that doctors and teach. I think it's Bill Gates. No, it was Bill Gates actually who said the doctors and teachers will be replaced by AI. I think all the knowledge related professions will be replaced by AI, right?
Oh, sure,
all the
of course.
all the people who does the insurance analysis, actuaries and stuff, chartered accountants maybe, product managers maybe, right? Maybe our
It was
procurement
more
people.
than 10 years ago. Portsville. He's the head of AI in Google for a long time. I've seen his London college Christmas something's talk, and it was like 10 years ago, I think. And he was saying that if you are planning to send your kids into some law school, medical school, to spend 10, 12, 15 years to get a profession like this, don't do that, because it will be all eliminated in 25 years.
Yeah.
So we are now 10 years into that. And I think he overstated it, 25. Yeah, because in his own book, he told that in 2029, AI will be smarter than whole population. And population, the singularity will happen. So
last question before you go. I'm a CEO of blah blah logistics, right? And I have to make a decision to have a ERP, basically, or WMS system. Terms doesn't matter. And if I ask AI or ask you, what is the best software? What would be the answer?
Best of all?
Best of all, to run my warehouse system, as a 3PL.
This one, yeah? Okay, so there's Excel, yeah? Then probably a 10 miles of a desert, like an African one, and then all of the rest.
All the rest. Yeah, not CargoWise, you're not going to mention CargoWise. So Excel still covers the most of the market.
Exactly.
Right.
Sure.
With this lame joke, we want to finish. I think we can talk about that. I think we did the episodes on AI and logistics, I think a couple of months ago. And if I look into that video and the content we did and what we did right now, it's already felt obsolete discussion. Already.
Be ashamed of that video.
No, I'm not ashamed. You might be. I'm very proud of that video, right? Because we are the first people who are talking about that.
Be ashamed of this one.
No, I won't be ashamed of this one. I think this one is also very good, right? Now, jokes aside, I think the message is the content has really moved very fast, right? And it's moving faster than everybody else. So what we need to think about it, so rather than we become a person whose job will be replaced by AI, let's become a supply chain logistic professional who will be very good in using AI, at least for next 5-10 years, so you can grow as fast as AI, right? So thank you for watching. Thank you for joining and sharing your expertise.
Yeah, thanks for inviting.
And I'll see you in the next episode.
On Time with Dr. and Serge. Logtech Podcast.